Case in point here. Olivia, you got another speed-based person you want to talk about?
Yes, I do. And Grant Holloway, we're probably going to be talking about him all throughout our time here for the weekend recap. But what completely blew my mind was I didn't know this was his very first 60 ever in his collegiate career. He went out with 6.59 in the prelim, then did 6.51, and we were kind of talking off air like that's a lot of speed for a jumper. Are we looking into doing probably a 60 hurdle, 4x4 long jump thing coming SEC Nationals? Is that too far out stretch to be thinking about?
The quad. Yes. That's a tough four. I mean, watching him run this race, it looked, that 6.51 in particular, 6.59 was amazing, but the 6.51 even more so. It almost was like he was surprised there was no obstacles in his way, and he was just like, oh, this is easy. Like, I don't have a hurdle. I don't have to worry about a long jump board that I need to hit. It can just be me 100% the whole way through. You've done some doubles yourself.
Yes,
some triples, perhaps.
Yes, I have. But
how do you balance these?
It's just honestly just be mentally tough for that, because I think Grant can also relate. It's a lot of training, especially with him doing jumps and then having that quarter-mile speed and also being a short sprinter. You have to be able to adapt to all those changes. But one of the things I realized, and you kind of put all of the stereotypes to the side, a lot of people think hurdlers aren't fast. They just are fast over hurdles, and then they don't also have a drive phase. But when you watch Grant's race, it was so flawless. Like, he had a drive phase, he was driving, as Coach Anderson would say. He just kept going down the track. So yeah, like, I was expecting him to kind of like pop up just because he's used to having hurdles and obstacles being in the way, but he actually really did a flawless race for sure.
And this is what this is a healthy Grant Holloway. Last year he was coming back off some issues. He also had to have hernia surgery later on in the year. So he really didn't do fall training at all in 2017 leading up to the 2018 season. Still had a great indoor season. But this is peak, well, at least so far, peak Grant Holloway. And now it's like, is Grant Holloway going to be a one-man track team at Florida? Now, of course, they have other guys on that squad that can score. But now we're looking at a guy that is going to be the overwhelming favorite to win the 60 hurdles. May add the 60, and at this point would appear to be the favorite. Now, of course, we know he's going to be doing other events. The long jump, he jumped 8:02, which I believe is number 2 in the country right now. We know he's had a little bit of struggles in the long jump in the past in NCAAs, at least compared to what his best marks are. And then, of course, the 4x4, anything can happen. I mean, that's a guy right there that could help contribute. I mean, I know it's a stretch, but 40 points himself. I mean, you can get on the podium with that.
No, you win the title this year at 40.
I mean, this is the big story going forward for the men's team title, at least, is Holloway, is how do you intelligently use him knowing that on his best day, now, of course, rest is going to be an issue here, but I mean, this is a guy who could change the whole meet by himself. I mean, so how do they use him going forward? I think in Mike Holloway's mind, he's going to have to make some changes to what he's thinking here, because, I mean, unless maybe we are just, Holloway, Mike Holloway, that is, saw this coming all along and said, we're going to run him in the 60, we're going to run him in the hurdles. Because, like we said before, he had never run the 60 before. So why all of a sudden is he doing this? I mean, maybe it could just be speed work, but it could also be seen in practice. Oh my gosh, this guy's one of the best sprinters in the country, and one of the best short sprinters in the country. So we're going to try to enter him in 3 or 4 events. So,
well, if it was speed work, you drop a number 9 time all time on just a lark. He'd never even run 100 at Florida before. Outdoors. And to do this, I mean, just remarkable. A good problem for Coach Holloway to have, right? He's like, oh, now what do I do with this guy who's now run, 0.05 seconds faster than any other 60 man in the nation? And Divine Adeduru hasn't run a 60 yet. There's probably a couple people out there, but there's been a lot of people running on a lot of fast tracks for the past couple weeks. And Grant Holloway is like a step above everybody else in a race that's so short. I'm just fascinated to see what he does. I mean, you said number 2 in the long jump. He doesn't want to give up the long jump, though. He said one of the reasons he's coming back is because he wants the long jump title. And you put that speed on the runway, it's just silly.
And one other thing I want to add, the big reason for him to come back to Florida was to challenge the 110 hurdles collegiate record.
There are a lot of reasons,
flat. But how do you hedge that, knowing that outdoor is going to be the big scene there, trying to run under 13 seconds, something very few people have done. It's going to be quite interesting because Florida never shies away from, keeping their athletes busy indoor and outdoor. So, he's going to be doing a lot of events regardless of if he drops the 60 or not.
But this has got to be a fun time to be a Gator right now. Yeah. So.
Got a couple comments about this exact issue coming from Twitter. Dwight Stones knows a thing or two about elite track and field. Says 60 hurdles and 60-meter double at SEC champs is a tall order. SEC, that's the best speed conference in the nation.
Sure.
Yeah, to win there would be incredible, but maybe he does a little trial run there and see how it works. I mean, who knows? Yeah. And then another comment, Reek Philly. Lincoln, is that a burner account for you?
It is, yeah. Okay. I've been tweeting from my pocket.
He's still a human being. You can't do all of that in one meet.
Are we sure about that?
Yeah, we don't know if he's a human being, because what he's doing, I mean, people have been talking about, like, what's your decathlon potential?
Yes. If
you're Grant Holloway, I mean, how far can he throw? That's been a thing going on for a while. But in terms of sprints, hurdles, jumps, this is something we really haven't seen in the NCAA system before. I mean, number 9 all time. I mean, Christian Coleman, when he was in the NCAA, only ran faster than that twice.
Right.
We all know what he went on to do. 650. I mean, Ronnie Baker's run quicker than that.
Right.
I mean, one of the greatest of all time to do it. That's tied with Kendal Williams. That's tied with Richard Thompson, who the same year Richard Thompson ran 651. That's 08. He got the bronze behind Bolt in Beijing. Yeah. So this is not a joking matter. Yeah. I mean, this is serious, legitimate speed. It's not like, oh wow, he's got range. It's like, no, he's the best in the nation right now in this event.
Yeah.
And I didn't expect to be talking about it. Keep the comments coming, though, on Twitter. Let us know what you think about Grant Holloway's good problem to have, Florida's great problem to have.